What's up everyone, it's Unsung NPC back here with another class video for you today. We are taking a look at the Sorcerer. Okay, the Sorcerer class. All magic, all the time. They are bloodline casters, that's their thing. They get powers from having magical creature blood of some sort, which is pretty cool. Low fortitude, low reflex, high will, okay? They use charisma to cast, and they cast spontaneously, so they don't prepare slots or anything like that. You just get your spells, and then you have a number of spells for first level that you can use until they're all gone. Okay? They get 9th level spells. It says max level of spells 10. It's 10th level spells are not a thing. It's 9th level spells. They have like low BAB. So low is 2 out of the 4. So for every 4, only 2 times will your BAB go up. Okay? And then we get Arcana, Persuasion, use Magic Device. Solid, I guess. So, what do they get? Simple Weapon Proficiency, which it's better than nothing. And they cannot wear armor, okay? Otherwise you get spell failure chance, and you don't want to fail your spells. They get cantrips, okay? All these little tiny cantrips. Dismiss spell, probably the most important cantrip for those pesky CC AoEs that won't go away after the fight's over. And they also get a bonus feat, another bloodline feat, bloodline feat, bloodline feat. So you get a bonus feat, of which has to be a magic spell related feat. And then you get 3 feats that come from your bloodline. So your bloodline will tell you which feats you can pick as your bonus feats. Okay? So what we're gonna do first is go over the different bloodlines and kind of talk about what they can do. This is gonna go a lot quicker than you think, because the dragons are literally all the same, but different elements. And then the elementals are all the same, but different elements. So it's actually a lot less different bloodlines than you think there would be. So first we have Abyssal, okay? Abyssal, feats that you can take: Augmented Summoning, Bull Rush, Cleave, Empower Spell, Great Fortitude, Power Attack, Skill Focus Religion, Sunder Armor. From the feats alone, you can tell that the Abyssal bloodline works well with some summoning or being a strength-based sorcerer, okay? A sorcerer that likes to mix it up in the melee, all right? That is how it do, okay? They grow claws, which is cool. They get better at 7th level, and then at 11th level, they become flaming weapons and deal additional damage. So, very nice. You get Bloodline Arcana, okay? So, whenever you cast a spell of the Summoning Subschool, your creature summoned get DR Good equal to half your Sorcerer level. Okay, DR Good is actually solid for this campaign because none of the evil enemies are going to deal good damage. And since good is the exception, that means evil damage is not going to do well against your evil summonings. You also get Athletics as a class skill. Any more hints towards being a strength-based sorcerer, here you go. You get Demonic Resistances, okay? You get 5 electricity resistance plus 2 against poison. Then it's 10 electricity resistance, and then plus 4 against poison at 9th level. Cool. You've also got Cause Fear as a bonus spell. Bull Strength, Rage, Stone Skin, Dismissal. You get Summon Monster 7. You get Summon Monster 9. And you get Transformation, which is a badass spell. Another way of knowing that you could be a strength-based sorcerer. Probably the most obvious, though, is Strength of the Abyss, where at 9th level, 13th level, and 17th level, each of those levels you get a +2 bonus to your strength score. Okay, so this bloodline is pumping that strength into you. You also get added summonings. Whenever you cast a summoning spell that conjures more than one creature, you get to add another one. If you add 2, you add 3 instead. If you add 3, you add 4 instead. You also get wings. Yay. They give you +3 dodge AC against melee attacks. That's what wings do. Unholy Aura is another spell that you get. And then the last thing you get is your ability Demonic Might. Okay, immunity to electricity and poison. And you get resistances to acid, cold, and fire equal to 10. If you're a tiefling, it just becomes even more because they have 5 to a lot of different things. So this is the Abyssal Bloodline. Okay, very strength based, very summon focused. If you're not interested in either of those two things, I would avoid it. Next, we have the Arcane Bloodline. Okay, the Arcane Bloodline is like if you're a sorcerer, but also you're a wizard. Now, you don't get to use intelligence unless you take a certain archetype, but the Arcane Bloodline, I think, is one of the more powerful bloodlines. Bonus feats, combat casting, improved initiative. Those are both great feats. Iron Will, reach spell for free, nice. Skill focus, knowledge arcana, spell focus, greater spell focus, and spell penetration. I mean, you only get 3 bonus feats, I get that, but still, very, very nice choices to choose from. You're gonna get 3 of those for free, and those are good selections. You get an Arcane Bond, okay? So, this can be a familiar, if you want, or it can be a object. And if it's the object, that means that you can trade it in for an extra spell slot of your choice. And that is always really nice and always better than a familiar. You also get, whenever you apply a meta magic feat to a spell, okay, and increases the slot of that spell by 1 level, as a lot of meta magic feats do, you increase the DC of the spell by 1, okay? If you're using heightened spell to already increase the DC, this does not stack. It only works on meta magic that does not increase the DC normally. You also get any knowledge skill. You can pick one and add it to your class skill list, which I think the only knowledge skill left is worlds, unless it counts lore skills, but I don't think it does. Okay, you get Combat Casting Adept. At 3rd level, you get +2 to concentration checks, and then at 9th level, you get +3, and at 15th level, you get +4, and at 20th level, it's replaced by Arcane Apotheosis, which we'll get to. Magic Missile, Invisibility, Dispel Magic, Dimension Door, Break Enchantment, True Seeing, Banishment, Power Word Stun, Clashing Rocks. And then you get something called New Arcana. So, 9th level, you can add any 1 spell from the Sorcerer Wizard spell list to your list of spells known. And then you get to do the same thing again at 13th and at 17th. So 3 extra spells. And then you also get School Power. So you pick a school of magic, the DC of any spells from that school increases by 2, on top of spell focus, greater spell focus, and the like. So that's very cool. It stacks with everything. And then Arcane Apotheosis, all your concentration checks made to cast a spell are automatic successes. You are full concentrated all the time, which is very, very cool. So yeah, that is the Arcane Bloodline. One of my favorites. Really, really cool bloodline. I like this one a lot. Next is the Celestial Bloodline. So the Celestial Bloodline is where someone in your family did it with an angel person, or Manavik Deva, or something like that. Okay? You get Dodge, Extend Spell, Iron Will, Agile Maneuvers, Augment Summoning, Superior Summoning, Lore Religion Skill Focus, and Weapon Finesse. Very interesting dex focus for the Celestial Bloodline. Very intriguing on that end. Okay, you get Heavenly Fire. So you can unleash a ray of Heavenly Fire as a ranged touch attack against evil creatures. This does 1d4 + 1 for every 2 levels you have. Okay. and it heals good creatures for the same amount. So that's very cool. Neutral creatures are unaffected, so if you're going in with a neutral party, probably not the best. Celestial Bloodline Arcana. For the summoning sub-school, any creatures you summon are get DR evil equal to half your level. That's going to be rough, because all of those demons are going to do evil damage, which means that they're going to bypass that DR easy peasy. You get Lore Religion as a class skill, you get Bless, you get Resist Energy, Protection from Energy, Aura... Nope, you get Flame, Remove Curse, Flame Strike, Greater Dispel Magic, Banishment, Summon Monster 9, Sunburst, okay? You also get Aura of Heaven. So you can cast this on yourself for a minute, gives you +4 to AC and +4 on its saving throws against attacks or effects created by evil creatures to you and all allies within 20 feet. That's really nice. You can use this a number of times equal to your level at a minute per time. So that's actually quite a bit of usage out of that ability, making it pretty powerful. You also get Wings, and you get Conviction, so you gain spell resistance against evil spells, and spells cast by evil creatures equal to 11 plus your level. So that's a huge chunk of spell resistance as well. Very good there, because it's not just evil spells, but spells that are also cast by evil creatures, okay? And then you get Ascension. Immunity to Acid, Cold, and Petrification. Resist Electricity 10, resist Fire 10, and a +4 against Poison. So, Celestial can be pretty strong too. Next up are the Dragon Bloodlines, okay? Now the Dragons are all the same, like I said before. They all get Blind Fight, Great Fortitude, Improved Initiative, Power Attack, Quicken Spell, Skill Focus Mobility, Skill Focus Knowledge Arcana, and Toughness, okay? And they're all going to get these same abilities, except the element that you get is going to be different based on the color dragon you are, okay? So you're going to get Claws, okay? Very similar to how the Demon Claws work. You're going to get a bonus to your element from the dragon, so +1 point of damage per die rolled to any elemental spell of the element of your dragon, okay? You get Perception as a class skill, which is actually a really great class skill to have. You get Resistance to your element for 5, and then eventually 10, and then eventually you'll become immune to it eventually. Yeah. You also get +1 to your natural armor bonus, then +2, then +4. Okay. You get Mage Armor, Resist Energy, Dispel Magic, Fear, Spell Resistance, Dragonkind 1, Dragonkind 2, Breath Weapon. Oh, that's not a spell, that's an actual ability. Dragonkind 3, Overwhelming Presence. Okay. And then your abilities here. Okay. You get Breath Weapon. Okay, so at 9th level, it deals 1d6 points of your element per sorcerer level in a 60-foot line. Okay, those caught in the area receive a reflex save for half. Okay, at 9th level, you can use this once. 17th, you can use it twice. 20th level, you can use it 3 times per day. You also get Wings. Do the same thing as everyone else's wings. And then you get Power of Worms. Immunity to paralysis, sleep, and your element. And then Blind Sense with the 60 feet range. Okay? So black is acid. Blue is electricity. Brass is fire. Bronze is electricity. Copper is acid. Gold is fire. This breath weapon is a 30-foot cone, just so you know. Did I overlook copper? Nope, 60. These are all 60-foot line. Gold is a 30-foot cone. Green is acid, makes sense, 30-foot cone. Red is fire, 30-foot cone. Silver is cold, 30-foot cone. And then white is cold in a 60-foot line. So there's only 2 cold ice dragons. There's 1, 2, 3 fire, 2 electricity, and 3 acid. So acid and fire have 3, electricity and ice have 2 each. Okay, and that's all the dragons. Next, the elementals. Okay, again, these are going to be very similar. Alright. Dodge and power spell, great fortitude, improved initiative, lightning reflexes, power attack, skill focused knowledge arcana, and weapon finesse. They really want you guys to have skill focused knowledge arcana. I don't know why. Okay, you get an elemental ray equal to your element. Okay, 1d6 plus 1 for every 2 levels you possess. You also get mobility as a class skill. You get elemental resistance 10 to your element, and then 20 at 9th level to your element. You get burning hands in the flavor of your element, scorching ray in the flavor of your element, protection from energy. You get elemental body 1, 2, 3, 4. You get summon monster 8 out of nowhere. You get elemental swarm, which is like the ultimate like elemental summoning ability where you summon a bunch of them over time. And then you get elemental blast. So 20-foot radius burst, 1d6 electricity per sorcerer level. Okay. And then it's once per day, then twice, then 3 times per day. And then at 20th level, it goes from 20 feet radius to 60 feet radius. Oh, never mind. The radius is always the same. It just has a range of 60 feet. So you can use it 60 feet away in a 20-foot radius burst. Okay. You also get elemental movement. Okay. So you become immune to grapple, entangle, slow, and difficult terrain. And then elemental body, where you're immune to your energy and you're immune to sneak attacks and critical hits. Earth, like I said, it's gonna be the same thing across the board, right? It's gonna be the same thing. Burning Hand, Scorching Ray, class mobility. Okay. Fire, also. So Fire's movement is plus 30 to your base speed. I think Earth has a different movement, actually. Or Earth has no movement. What? Yeah. No elemental movement for Earth. They don't move. And then Water, you get immunity to combat maneuvers. And then you get... It's on here twice. That's a bug. It's supposed to be on here once. I wonder if one of those goes to Earth or not. It might be. I'm pretty sure they all get one, and it's just bugged right now. I think it's a bug that it doesn't have one, but it should. But those are the elemental bloodlines. I love the elemental bloodlines and the dragon bloodlines. I think elemental magic, if you want to do damage casting, is the most powerful stuff to do. Okay? It's huge, and being able to do all different types of flavors based on which element you are is also huge. So I think acid and fire are probably the best because they have there's a lot of good fire spells, a lot of good acid spells out there, but I wouldn't count cold and electricity out. Okay, they're both great as well. The Fey bloodline. Dodge, improved initiative, lightning reflexes, agile maneuvers, point blank shot, precise shot, quicken spell, skill focus, lore nature. So being the Fey, they like bows. That makes sense. Okay. You get laughing touch. So touch a creature as a melee touch attack. For 1 round, they just burst out laughing. They can only take a move action. Once it's been hit by it, it's immune for 24 hours. So it's just like a 1 round use. Not that great of an ability. Plus 2 DC to any compulsion spell. Lore Nature's class skill added in there, which is cool. Yeah, Woodland Stride. You can move through any sort of difficult terrain at normal speed, which is awesome. They get Entangle, Hideous Laughter, Deep Slumber, Poison, Vine Trap, Dispel Magic Greater. They get Change Staff, which I think is not in Kingmaker. This is a new spell, though, Wrath of the Righteous, that I haven't seen yet. They have Summon Nereid as Summon Nature's Ally, and they have Summon Hamadryad as Summon Nature's Ally. They get Fleeting Glance, where it works as Greater Invisibility. Okay, cool. It just works as Greater Invisibility. You can use this number of rounds per day equal to your level. So 20 rounds eventually. When you get it, it's 9 rounds. 9 rounds of invisibility. I mean, it's a lot. I think it's a lot of rounds to use invisibility for. Change Staff. Ordinary Quarterstaff into a tree and creature. I remember this spell. What a great spell. Fey Magic. +2 to the caster level checks made to overcome spell resistance. That's really nice. And it stacks with Spell Pen and Greater Spell Penetration. Very, very nice. And then Soul of the Fae. Immunity to poison. DR 10 Cold Iron. Once per day you can cast Cloak of Dreams as a spell-like ability using your Sorcerer level as the caster level, which is really cool. I think Cloak of Dreams is a nice spell. It's not affected by spell resistance at all, which is awesome. It's just any creature within 5 feet falls asleep for a minute. They have to save every time they begin their turn, but they'll keep remaining asleep, which is really cool. Really cool. I like the Fae bloodline. I just don't like role-playing a Fae, so I don't ever choose it. Next is Inferno, the Devil Blood. Alright. We've got Blind Fight, Combat Expertise, Deceitful, Disarm, Extend Spell, Iron Will, Skill Focused Knowledge Arcana, and Spell Penetration. Interesting array of feats there. Corrupting Touch. It's a melee touch attack to make someone shaken for a number of rounds equal to half your level. And you can't use it multiple times while it's active. It just works once. +2 to any charm spells. Knowledge rolled as a class skill. Resistance to fire for 5 and +2 against poison. Then it's resistance fire to 10 and +4 against poison. You get protection from good spell, Scorching Ray, Hold Person. You get Crushing Despair, Mind Fog, which is really good, Hellfire Ray. You get Firebrand, Power Word Stun, which is pretty good, and Polar Midnight, which is pretty good. You also get an ability called Hellfire, where you can call down a column of Hellflame. Okay, 10-foot radius burst, 1d6 points of fire per sorcerer level, reflex save. It's once per day, then twice per day, then 3 times per day. Okay. You get Wings, which is cool. Devil Wings, love it. And then Power of the Pit. Immunity to fire and poison. And also acid and cold resistance 10. Very standard bloodline. Next is the Serpentine. The Serpentine is another one of my favorites. I think Serpentine and Arcane might be my all-time favorites. And I couldn't pick between them, to be honest, but I love them both dearly. Combat casting, combat reflexes, deceitful, deft hands, persuasive, reach spell, skill focus, persuasion, and stealthy. You get Serpent Fang. So you get fangs as a natural weapon that you can grow as a free action. They deal 1d4 plus strength unless you do weapon finesse, because weapon finesse works on natural attacks, plus poison, which is a fortitude save that does con damage until they save. They are treated as magical at 5th level for the purposes of overcoming DR, and then the poison damage increases. 7th level, they require 2 saves to cure the poison. And 11th level, the poison damage increases again. I love that. Your powers of compulsion can affect even bestial creatures. So whenever you cast mind-affecting spells, they can affect animals, magical beasts, monstrous humanoids, and vermin as if they were humanoids who understood your language. Love that a lot. That gives you a lot more room for enchantment-based spells to use across the board. Oh, so good. Class skill Stealth. You get Hypnotism, Delay Poison, Summon Monster 3, Poison, Hold Monster, Transformation, Summon Monster 7, Frightful Aspect, Polar Midnight. All great. You get Snakeskin, +1 to AC, Natural Armor, +2 to saves against poison, then +2 against mobility. At 13th and 17th level, all of these increase by 1 each time. So eventually, you'll have +3, +4, +4. And then Den of Vermin. Love this one. You may summon a host of insects. This power acts as Creeping Doom, but the swarm's poison inflicts con damage, and any creature other than you sharing a space with the swarm is entangled. Okay? So it works like Creeping Doom, where they distract and they cause poison, but instead of dex damage, it's con, which is really good because con damage can eventually, like, you know, it's taking away their health, which just makes them faster to kill. Okay, all in all. And then they're also entangled on top of that. So I really like that. Creeping Doom is one of my favorite summoning spells already. So adding that in, I think, is really, really good. I like Serpentine a lot. Undead Bloodline. I don't like the Undead Bloodline for this game. I think it's powerful in Kingmaker. I don't think it's powerful here because I don't think Fortitude saving spells are good in this game at all and unreliable. So, combat casting, Great Fortitude, Iron Will, Skill Focus, Religion, Spell Focus, Greater Spell Focus, Toughness, Die Hard. You get Grave Touch, which is you make a living creature become shaken. Okay, so similar to the other Shaken Touch ability, so it's only for living creatures. You get undead creatures are treated as humanoids for the purposes of mind affecting spells, which is pretty cool. Really cool. Lore Religion is a class skill. Cause Fear, False Life, Vampiric Touch. You've got Animate Dead. You've got Grasp of the Dead, Waves of Fatigue. Oops. Undeath to Death, Finger of Death, Horrid Wilting, Energy Drain. Okay, we got Death's Gift, Resist Cold 5, DR 5 Magic. At 9th level, they both increase to 10. Then you've got, okay, that's the 9th level, increase to 10. Then you've got Incorporeal Form. You can become incorporeal for 1 round per level. While in this form, you take no damage from non-magic weapons, and you only take half damage from any source not dealing ghost, holy, divine, or force damage. And you can use this once per day. You have to use all those rounds at once, unfortunately, which does suck. One of Us. Immunity to cold, paralysis, and sleep. DR5 flat. Okay, +4 against spells and spell-like abilities cast by the undead. So, I mean, in its own right, it's a very strong bloodline. Would I use it in this game? No, because Fortitude spells suck. But I like it. So, in this game, I think Abyssal and Celestial are particularly powerful. I think Arcane is always powerful. I think the elements are cool. You do have to take Ascendant Element for either of those or the dragons to really work effectively. And then I think Serpentine is really cool. And if you're really going for that devil playthrough, maybe Inferno might be for you. That's my 2 cents about the bloodlines, though. Let's check out these archetypes that we are 30 minutes in for and have not started. Cross-blooded. Cross-blooded is just basically you trade off, you learn less spells per level. Okay, so each level up, you learn less spells than a normal sorcerer would. And instead, you can do a secondary bloodline. So you gain an additional bloodline and you get the class skill and the spells from that bloodline. So while you get less spells to choose from leveling up, you get more spells from bloodlines because you'll get double those and you'll get another class skill. But other than that, it doesn't offer anything. It just says only bonus skills and bonus spells from the bloodline. Okay, it doesn't say you can choose between feats, which in the tabletop, normally you can choose between feats and powers as you level up. It doesn't say that here, meaning that you probably can't. Okay, so if we test it, like, I don't think it's gonna let you. No, it doesn't. So that's not a thing here. So you have to plan accordingly, okay? So I don't think this archetype is very good because I don't know why you couldn't normally take those spells anyway. I think maybe it's good if you do like a dragon and an element. That way you get like all of the elemental spells, because like the Scorching Ray and Burning Hands, you only get those through the bloodline. So some of the spells are bloodline specific for their variations of them, but that's not most bloodlines. So kind of weak sauce if you ask me. Imperial Sorcerer. This is like, you're a Celestial. You are the Celestial bloodline, and instead of Charisma, you use Wisdom for spell casting. So that's it. Like, you are Celestial bloodline and you use Wisdom for your casting ability. And that's what this is. That's what Celestial is. All the bloodline stuff is the same as if you were doing a Celestial bloodline on a regular Sorcerer. Nine-tailed Heir. This is the Kitsune specific archetype. That is kind of funny because it's Naruto. You're a nine-tailed fox. It's Naruto, which is hilarious. You pick a bloodline. Cool. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know, like, it says that it's different, but I'm wondering how different it gets. So let's check here. I mean, it looks like you still get all the stuff. So there's not really a difference. It seems. I mean, it looks like you're getting all the stuff to me. And then every other level up, you're getting a magical tail as a bonus feat. If the nine tail already has 9 tails, each additional time the feat is taken, you gain additional daily use of the lowest level magical tail ability. What are the magical tail abilities? That is a freaking good question, isn't it? Alright, so we are going to take a look at the magic tail feat, because for the nine-tailed heir, you get a bunch of magic tails. And they pretty much, as I thought, are kind of like not that exciting. It's just getting these spells twice per day for each of the tails that you get. Okay, so you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spells. Vanish, Sleep, Blur, Invisibility, Deep Slumber, Displacement, Confusion, Dominate Person. So you get those twice per day each. They use Charisma, and the caster level for the spell is equal to your hit dice. Therefore, it's a bit effective when you're not already a sorcerer. But as you know, as a nine-tailed sorcerer, basically what's going to happen is you're going to get an additional daily use after you get all of these, because there's more than 8 of these here. So you'll get an additional daily use of the lowest level not already affected by this effect. So if you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So the only way you're really going to get that much bonus use is if you take these as actual feats. But to me, there's so many spell feats that are so valuable for a sorcerer to have that that's a waste of time. So this just isn't as good, I think. I don't think the magic tails are as good. But, you know, if it seems interesting to you, then I say go for it. I think that, you know, you could have a lot of fun if you think it's exciting enough. So I do think it's really cool on a character that doesn't spell cast, though, because if you have like a fighter and your combat feats do enough, but you want to use your other feats on getting 2 of these each day, that's actually huge. Like, having 2 of these each day as a fighter can be very powerful. So pretty cool. It's a cool feat by itself. Not as cool for a class that can already cast magic. Overwhelming Mage. So Overwhelming Mage just trades out these bonus feats for Overwhelming Penetration. +1 to caster level checks made to overcome spell resistance, and then it increases to eventually +4, and then you get you can sacrifice a spell slot of 3rd level or higher to increase the saving throw DC for the next 2 rounds, equal to 1/3 of the spell level sacrifice. So it's 1 at 3, 1 at 4, 1 at 5, 2 at 6. Okay. So I think that's really cool. I like this as a Sorcerer Plus because I think that these bonuses to penetration in this campaign are far more important than the bonus feats you could get. I know you could take spell penetration and greater spell penetration as feats though. Yeah, you could, but not all of them can be taken as bonus feats for every bloodline. So you're going to want to take those anyway. And then you're going to take this on top of it. So for me, in this game, this is my Sorcerer Plus officially. Overwhelming Mage. I think it's powerful. I think the penetration, even though it's only a +4, is really nice. Sage Sorcerer. This is bugged. Hello? This is bugged. You are, in fact... Okay, so the knowledge bonus does include the lore skills. Confirmed for the Arcane Bloodline. Sage Sorcerer, you are the Arcane Bloodline, and you use Intelligence to cast. So remember how Imperial Sorcerer was Wisdom-based Celestial? Sage Sorcerer is Intelligence-based Arcane Bloodline. That's all it is. Everything else is the same. It's not showing it on here, but it's the Arcane Bloodline. Seeker. Again, I don't know why it's crossing it out like this, but it's the same bloodline choices. I don't get it why it's doing this. The Seeker, you get Trap Finding, so you get Trickery as a class skill, and then every you add half your level as a Trickery skill check. So Seeker's typically a Oracle thing. This is like the Sorcerer version, I guess. And then you also get Seeker bonus feats on top of that. I don't know what it's taking away. I don't understand. It looks like it's supposed to be taking away something from the bloodlines, but it's not. All of these icons are the same. So it's just adding things. I don't know why you would play a regular Sorcerer when Nine-Tailed, Overwhelming, and Seeker just add things. It doesn't make sense. But there it is. You get Trap Finding, and you get more bonus feats that are all spell feats. Bonus spell feats. Okay. Sylvan Sorcerer. Sylvan Sorcerer is, for all intents and purposes, a Fey sorcerer. These are all of the like Fey spells. You get Fey magic, all of that shit. And then on top of that, you get an animal companion. So it's a Fey sorcerer with an animal companion, but it's still the Fey bloodline. I do think it's cool that sorcerers' archetypes have these kind of like bloodline specific focused archetypes. I do think that is less fun sometimes because you can just choose those as a regular sorcerer, but there it is. So you've got your sorcerer, you've got your sorcerer with extra skills and spells, you've got Imperial, which is your Wisdom Celestial, you've got your Kitsune, you've got your Sorcerer Plus, which is just more spell penetration, which is great. You've got your Arcane Intelligence Sorcerer, you've got your Seeker Trap Finding Sorcerer, and then you've got your Animal Companion Fey Sorcerer. All good across the board. Honestly, Overwhelming is my Sorcerer Plus, but they're all great. There's absolutely no reason you need to be a base Sorcerer class in this game. You need to pick an archetype. Base Sorcerer is garbage compared to all of the archetypes, so just pick an archetype. I probably wouldn't pick Crossblooded. Scratch that. Don't pick Crossblooded. I would probably avoid that one unless you really want to. All the others, though, really good. But that's the Sorcerer. If you learned something new or you just liked this video, thought it was informative, give the video a like, subscribe for more content later on. Feel free to join the Discord. I also stream, so feel free to check out any of those streams. We're playing some fun games lately. And yeah, thanks for watching. I super appreciate it. And if anyone knows what the different Ninetales do, feel free to list it out in a post in the video, in a comment. I am fine with that. I don't have, you know, I'm not going to go through and like, I can't go through right now from here and go through it all, but I'd be curious to see what they all are. I just remember them being kind of underwhelming. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I remember it. Anyway, I'm Unsung NPC, and I will catch you guys in the next one.